Let's make a drying screen for your prints. When I was doing the C41 video, I mentioned how I never really finished my darkroom 4 years ago. I only got far enough to do what I needed to do at the time. Well, I finally found some time, and I have a missing spot here for a 5th screen that I never made. So let me show you how to make one. There are a few different materials you can make them out of. One of the more popular is just to get a window screen frame and then put window screen over it. The problem with that is window screen frames are expensive. They're a little floppy. I personally don't like that option. What I use are canvas stretcher bars that you can get from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or anything like that, Dick Blick. For one, they're cheaper. I just bought one that was 2 foot by 3 foot, so that's 2 pieces of each, for only $6 because it was on sale for half off. Great price. Just went to Lowe's today and saw that window screens are $14 for a kit for one screen. It doesn't include the screen itself or either. So you'll need to get a roll of screen material as well. Speaking of which, you'll want to get fiberglass screen, not metal. The metal can start to react with your print or just leave stains if it starts to rust, if it's a steel screen, or even aluminum. Not the greatest choice. Get fiberglass. So I'm going to use some stretcher bars and some fiberglass screen. So let's go down to my studio and I'll show you how I made that. I'm using 2 pieces of 24-inch long canvas stretcher bar and 2 36-inch pieces. You're also going to need some wood glue and a measuring tape. Get the first 2 pieces together, that's 1 of each length, and put some glue on the tabs of 1 piece, both sides. Then spread the glue around. You can use your finger or brush, anything like that will work just fine. Then slide the tab of 1 piece into the slot of the other. Join the 2. They just press together. Might take some force. And wipe the excess glue off. Then glue the other pair in the same manner. Spread the glue on the tab, both sides, and then press the tab into the slot of the opposing piece. Again, wipe off any excess glue. You can use a wet paper rag to do that. It cleans off pretty nicely. Then you're going to put glue on the tabs of both ends of 1 L. Spread the glue on all 4 parts, so that's both sides of the tab on one end, both sides of the tab on the opposite end, and you're going to attempt to join these all together. So start one corner, press it in, at least part way, then move to the other corner to get it going. Once you have that, you need to check for square. So take your measuring tape and measure the diagonal in one direction and then the opposite direction. You want to make sure both diagonals are the same exact length. If not, it's a rhombus, not a rectangle. So using a hammer, just tap it around and remeasure, making sure that they are the same length. Once you have it square, you're going to want to let the glue dry at least 20 minutes. An hour would be even better. That way, when you stretch the screen, the frame won't move around. So now that I've tapped this a couple times in each direction, it's good to go. Now that the glue is dry, I'm going to roll the screen out, make sure I have enough. You want to make sure you have several inches on all sides. It cuts very easily with scissors, so trim off what you need, put the roll aside. Make sure you have at least 2 to 3 inches on all sides. Using a heavy stapler, either manual or in my case, I'm using a pneumatic stapler connected to a compressor. Roll the screen over the edge of the stretcher bar. Now I like to roll the edge, double fold it or triple fold it, so that it can support the stretching. But a single layer can work just fine if your staples can hold it without ripping. I put in 3 staples on one side to get it started. This is to spread the tension out as I stretch it across. Once I have 3, turn the frame around and repeat on the other side, this time stretching the screen as I roll it over to create a taut center section. I'm going to put in 3 staples just as before, rolling the edge. Then you want to work on one of the other short sides. Pull the screen taut, roll the edge, and I'm going to put in 3 more staples just as before. You don't need to pull too much tension at this point. Most of the tension is going to come from stretching the opposite direction of where you've already stapled. So now I'm going to pull it even tighter, not enough to rip the screen. You do need to have a careful balance of how tight you pull this. You really just want to make sure you have enough tension, so I'll check it every now and then, making sure it's not sagging in the center. So putting in 3 more staples. At this point, just check your tension, make sure that you don't need any adjustments. Your corners are not going to be tight at this point, really just in the middle. From here, you're going to work your way outward. So I'll stretch, put a staple on both sides of the center of where I started, turn it around and do the same on all 4 sides, and work my way, staple by staple, to each of the 4 corners. Once you get all 4 corners mostly done, you can trim off the excess so that you don't have to work with so much actually filling the corners. Then pull the corners tight, put in whatever staples you need to fill the gap. Be careful not to staple your own fingers. And then just fold the edges down and staple them nice and tight to give it a finished look, trimming off any excess and putting in any extra staples needed. This is where the pneumatic stapler really comes in handy as opposed to a mechanical. So just repeat with the other 3 corners, stretching, stapling, trimming. And now I'm going to check and make sure everything is nice and tight, stretched across evenly. And I'll pull any small sections taut. So I have 2 to 3 inch gaps between each staple. So I'll just pull and fill in those gaps. This keeps the screen nice and even. It also spreads the tension so it's less likely to pull and tear. Finally, I'll just make sure everything is nice and tight and it's finished. Okay, so I've got my final screen. I finally have enough for 10 prints, which is what my washer can do. These are 2 foot by 3 foot. That gives me enough room for 2 16 by 20 prints or 1 20 by 24 print per screen. I normally print pretty much around 16 by 20 for a standard size for me. So these are perfect for what I need. I can also get 8 by 10 prints per screen. So that'd be a total of 40 prints if I really go crazy on my 8 by 10s or contact sheets or anything like that. So it's not very difficult. Just get yourself a frame. If you do get the Windows screen, just make sure you get the little roller that you can put the spline in easily. Or you can get stretcher bars like I did. They're inexpensive. This cost me $6 on sale. And they go on sale all the time. Hobby Lobby runs a 50% off framing or canvas supplies pretty much every other week. So if it's not on sale this week, just wait till next week. It should be on sale. The screen roll material, I bought 3 foot by 25 foot. I want to say it was about $15 for that. And then just staple it on. It's pretty easy. Now, I could have put a polyurethane on the frame before putting the screen on to make them watertight for when I wash them. But since I don't really put anything but archival prints on here, I don't wash them all that often. So the occasional washing that I do, spraying with water real quick, isn't really going to hurt it. The metal screen frames, like a window screen frame, you don't really have that problem. They're pretty watertight to begin with because they're meant to be weather resistant anyway on the elements. So you can do either one. Those are lightweight. They just cost a little bit more. I really wasn't willing to do that. I like a sturdier frame with the wood anyway. So potatoes. You choose what's best for you, but they are easy to make, and I recommend you get yourself a set so that you can draw your prints pretty easily. Hanging them up, you tend to get a lot of curl, particularly in fiber prints. This will give you a nice flat surface to dry them on. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll see you next time.